thanks so much for being here, first of all. I'm sure you all know Jamaal Magloire, former NBA All-Star and current Raptors development coach.
Yes, sir.
And you've been with the team since you retired in 2012.
Yes, right.
And tonight is the official launch. You guys have been hearing me talk about this live all the time about taking it to the next level. So hold on, let me just take my ring off. It's sort of just weighing things down here a little bit. The Chronicles of Mintink. Here we are. So we're definitely going to rip some cards after. I told Jamaal on his way out we're going to get him to rip a few packs. But we wanted to just really kind of focus on bringing you more great fun and more great stories. And anytime we can do it with somebody local. We've been really blessed. Like I was telling you, we have a couple of Paul Wall's been on our show, right? Paul Wall's been on our show. Phil Menicello, who is the lead guitarist in a band called Of Mice and Men, has been on our show. I said some of your Toronto alum, Carlo Coliacovo, Ricky Rowe, Stephen Caldwell. So, and now the man, the myth, the legend, Jamaal Magloire, Canada's only, next to Steve Nash, NBA All-Star. So before we talk a little bit about, I have a few things I want to talk about. The people, we definitely want to touch on a few things, but just into that sort of segue, if you will. Canadian basketball, you're a big part of it still.
Very much so. Basketball obviously has been a great part of my life. I've been in the NBA for now 22 years and counting. Very elated to be a part of probably the best organization that I've been around, which is the Toronto Raptors. I've been a journeyman in the NBA for 12 years and now coaching, 9 years with the team. And I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Young talent. We got Malachi Flynn and Scotty Barnes, and we pick up Precious. So you guys have some, and Freddie, and I love Freddie. Freddie's, I was doing some work with a client, and Freddie's brand is all about that kind of work hard, play hard. Like I'm a blue collar guy. Freddie's a workhorse, if you will. And I think that's a testament to yourself as well.
Yeah, I think, at the end of the day, these guys all have their own individual personalities. What we've been blessed with as a coaching staff is that they all want to get better and they all are willing to do whatever it takes to win games. And sometimes at this level, you got to watch your ego, you got to watch personal goals and make sure that aligns with our team. And we've been blessed not to have that problem because, even me as a player, I always worried about making the most money, obviously winning and looking good. And these guys are willing to sacrifice any one of those three things in order to help us win games each and every night. So I'm very lucky, and we're looking forward to having a good year in spite of losing Kyle Lowry and some of the other guys we lost.
Which is, coming off of a 2019 championship season, big sort of, and then COVID. So you got this great young team. You guys have a great coaching staff, guys like you, of course, Nick Nurse. And I think, like you said, it's that, like, the will to win. And look, like Scotty Barnes is tearing it up right now.
Yeah.
So.
Scotty Barnes is doing a great job. Being a rookie in the NBA, being 20, 21 years old, and being able to be relentless and do whatever it takes, both on the defensive and the offensive side of the glass, has been second to none. He always wants to take on the best player on the other team, and for a rookie to want to do that,
Yeah.
It speaks volumes about his hard work and his work ethic. So I'm happy that we have him. It was a great pick. A lot of people were disappointed in the draft and us drafting him, but again, Masai and Bobby Webster are way ahead of.
Masai is like, in the business side of the game, he's a unicorn, this guy. Like, people, it was really sad to see DeMar go, but, at the same time, we pick up a championship. So he's just, when it comes to, like, his mind around, around the whole game and everything else, it's pretty remarkable. But, and I'll go in a couple different places, but I'll segue into the whole card thing in a second, and I'll say with respect to Scotty Barnes. So the correlation and I know you were, you and I are around the same age, so I know, you definitely collected cards at some point in your life. Obviously, pretty busy. When you were in high school, you already knew you were destined. But it's almost like fantasy sports, if you will, right? Like, so Scotty Barnes is hot, the market lifts, kind of like a stock index, if you will. And with the rookies, it's a lot like, it's a lot like almost penny stocks, right? So there's this, great big hype on guys, and then all of a sudden you get these sleepers that sort of will just come out, and then there's the other side of the coin where, last year you had people saying, Anthony Edwards and Melo Ball, who headed up last year's draft class, they're not, Ja and Zion. Well, the two of those gentlemen are trying to tell people otherwise right now. And you see that firsthand. But you mentioned winning. And I know enough about you, but it's also like, watching you, again, being 20 and, there's this guy from Scarborough all of a sudden playing in the NBA. I grew up in the Schwa. Like, that was pretty awesome. But you played with Kentucky and won an NCAA. Can you tell me about what that's like? Because I know, like, college it's a next level, especially like American college basketball is wild, right?
Yeah, I think the University of Kentucky definitely turned me from a young boy into a grown man. I went there from 18 to 22 years old. Never left the country before going to Kentucky for the first time. And to go there and get that culture shock of pure basketball, discipline, rules and order. It really kind of turned my life around. Kentucky is like second to none in NCAA.
Storied franchise, and right?
Yeah, they're the winningest.
Yeah,
NCAA
it's Kentucky,
school
man. Like,
in school history. They've put out the most NBA basketball players in school history, NCAA school history. So, I had an opportunity to go to a lot of places coming out of high school, but I think at the end of the day, I just chose the school that I thought would be best suited for me to help me propel me to get to the NBA.
To grow.
And that was Kentucky. They didn't give me anything. I had to make everything for myself. But Coach Pitino and Coach Tubby Smith were instrumental in my whole life. Fortunate to win an NCAA championship.
Amazing.
We lost in 1997 when I was a rookie or a freshman in college in the finals in overtime, and then were able to come back as a sophomore and win the whole thing. Is just, I owe so much to that school. I always said, like, Kentucky's another NBA team and could probably beat some of the NBA teams that we have right now.
Yeah.
In the league.
Right.
On their talent. But the experience I had there and the friends that I met.
You were one of the hot, and I still think to this day, like, we've had some crazy talent the last decade, but if I understand, you were one of the most highly recruited Canadian basketball players of ever, and especially at that time. So when you say you could have went anywhere, I trust and believe that you could have went anywhere. But Kentucky, and you won a championship, and you hold a record for most blocks.
I do.
And Kentucky, like you just said, man, is a school that pumped out like Hall of Famers, All-Stars, winners, like. So that's a wild record.
Yeah, like I said, it's a very humbling experience. Like, by no means do I think I'm any better than people portray me to be, but it's a basketball factory. They gave me an opportunity to excel. There were some dark days. There were days I got in trouble, and they still believed in me. They stayed the course, and I was able to, be a first-round top 20 pick.
Wild.
So, I owe them basically my life. The other day, my financial advisor, which is, a gentleman from the Lexington, Kentucky, passed, and it's like a family ordeal. Even though I haven't seen him for probably 10 years or more, it's just a well-knit.
I was going to say very close-knit community. Yeah, family, and, community.
It'll never change.
And that's what this is like. That was so the whole Mintink experience was, the community. And I like that. And that's why I like, a big part of athletics and professional sports is community. And, my past life was in publishing and events, and a lot of it was like philanthropic and showcasing all of this stuff. And it's funny because a year, 2 years ago when I really started to invest in the space, and we're writing, some big checks, and saying to my wife, it's Wayne Gretzky one day, it's Michael Jordan the next day, and I said, listen, you got to trust me. She really runs the business. I'm just the mouth, like any really good relationship. But I said, like, we're going to form and build a community. Like, it's not just about, walking into a store and buying a pack of cards, or it's about like, how can we bring people together? How can we bring more like-minded people together? How can we give exposure to places and to the hobby and the difference that it is today versus the way we remember it sort of back in time. So again, I think that a lot of what you sort of personify is in many ways like the fabric of sort of what we're trying to do here in the space. So just it was extra, like, extra fitting that you were on here. But the Kentucky thing was wild for me. And then you were drafted 19th by Charlotte, which was, that's phenomenal. And we have it up here. We can play it in the background. And Luca, you can, if you have some light music on in the background, we're good with that too. But you tore it up in the 2004 All-Star game. We watched you scored 21 points in 19 points in 21 minutes. And there was one point you got, like, your Shaq's playing out on you, and he goaltends you, and it was just because, like, the play before you got him. But you like, you kind of really found your zone at that point. So I guess 2 basketball experiences that I would love to ask you about was, number one, like, you're playing in a game with Kobe and Shaq and some real legends, and arguably the best 15, 20 guys in the league at that time, and you killed it. And then a couple years later, you end up on a team with LeBron James. You were on the super team. So, like, how was that, like, kind of 5-year part of your career? Like, when I look at your stats, when I look at everything, like, you talk about Kentucky as kind of what kind of grounded you. Like, you were the best player in the country. You had anything you wanted here, all of a sudden, you're just a guy at Kentucky, right? That's the reality. And then you get through it, you start playing from 2005-ish, 4 or 5 to 2008, 9, 10. Like, you were in your prime playing with monsters. So how was that? And then, as a segue into that, who was the toughest you had to guard? Like, who was the toughest person you played against?
The NBA is basically the best players in the world every single year. And the competition's stiff. You always got to be sharp. You always got to take care of your body and make sure that your mind and your body's safe. I had the best years of my career young. As I got older, I had 2 broken hands and maybe some knee issues, but for the most part, my heart was pure. I tried to play 82 games every single year. I tried to be the best player I could be. My mindset was one of, like, missing a game due to rest management was, like, punkish, but I think a little bit of that was ignorance. 10 years ago or 15 years ago, I just tried to give it all my all for everything.
Yeah, I live by that sword. I get that, and I know what you mean. That's not a shot at anything. It's just it's a different time. And I grew up like an only child and a single mom even. So it's like you just had to eat. You got to get it done, and nothing's gonna stop me. If I got to play 82 games, and again, you were the best player in the country. Nobody gets that till they came here and Fun Guy won a championship and realized how dope Canada is. 1 million people showed up at the parade, right?
Yeah. Well, there's sports science now. And looking back in hindsight, I wish we had sports science back then because maybe I would have played 4 or 5 more years in the NBA.
So you're saying,
no knock against rest management, but just for me as a personal competitor, I wanted to try and play in every single game.
Yeah.
Played against the best players in the world every year of my life, and
you played against the best, let's just be clear, some of the best players ever to play the game. Like that list that just came out, the top 75, which is the best, the drama. I love the shots, right? Who should have made it, who shouldn't made it. But a lot of those guys in the top 20, 25 that you played against, like the Shaqs, the Kobe's, like all these guys, right? So I think that's pretty, it's pretty amazing. And like you said, like trying to just get out there and play. And then, so playing with LeBron, Wade, Bosh in their primes, like that, just to watch that.
It was a sight to see. It was a circus everywhere we went, in a great way. Like when LeBron and Wade and Bosch came to town, it's like fans would come from the other teams just to see us play. And if we had parties at night, they would all come as well, and then we'd come and kick their ass the next day.
Yes.
So it definitely was an experience that I have not witnessed anywhere else in the NBA while I've been in my tenure. But again, he is a leader. He's taught me a lot. I mean, there's things that I remember that I went through with the Miami Heat that, I take with me to this day with the Toronto Raptors, and that's my job, is to give these young guys insight.
The knowledge,
from my own mind and knowledge, not only from my own mind, but from the perspectives of some of the best players in the world. I've played with Jason Kidd in New Jersey. I played with Jason Kidd in Dallas. I played with LeBron in Miami. I played with Baron Davis.
Amazing.
I played with some of the best players in the world, and have learned a little bit from each one of them. So if I could pass that on to my young troops now, that will help us win games, that will equate to winning NBA championships, I'm willing to do what it takes, with no ego, to win games.
That's what it's about. It's about the humility and just getting it done. Whatever it takes. Yeah. Nobody's better than anybody. I mean, the stat line is the stat line, but we know what I mean. And we're one big family, like you said. It's about that.
And as an NBA coach, I'm a heckler because
I love it.
For a lot of my compadres, it's a job for them, and for me, it's a lifestyle. This is where I live.
That's what I'm saying. This is
what I've learned.
It's a lifestyle.
Whereas, they punch the clock from 9 to 5.
Forget that.
In my mind, 24 hours a day. In the summertime when win, lose, or draw, people come up to me and ask me what happened with the Raptors over the course of the regular season. Why didn't you win, or why didn't you get to the playoffs, or whatever the case may be? And I have to, listen to that while most people go back to their respective places.
Right, because you're here. You're respect. Yeah, exactly.
I take it personally. I've gotten technical fouls, letting people have it.
That's awesome.
I've wasted a lot of money in getting my point across, and at this point, I tell them this. I'll write you a blank check and you take out what you want to at the end of the year.
That's it.
And I don't give a damn.
Yeah, you're like a hometown boy at the end of the day. Like,
I just want to win.
So is coaching the team like, okay, so I hate to make me, and maybe indirectly you, I have way more gray than you though, feel old, but I remember in elementary school there was a contest to name the Raptors. Every school in Ontario, and we had to fill this stuff out. So here you are, we're probably like grade 6. You're already balling. You're like, the NBA's coming. 6 years later, you're in prep school. Then you're in Kentucky. You play with LeBron. You did all that, but you coach your hometown team. Like, you're a coach on your hometown team. Like, what's the, like, playing in the league? And now, like you just said, I get that. It's not, season's done, win or lose, Nicky goes home and sees you in 3 months. You're going down the highway. You're same restaurant, same deal, same friends, same people, right? So, compared to playing in the league, coaching the Raptors, like, I guess I'm asking you, if you had to coach any other team, it wouldn't be the same. You wouldn't be as all in.
Well, I wouldn't say that, because my heart and soul is into the game. It's given so much to me as a basketball player. It's been able to put my family in a position that I wouldn't otherwise have a chance to give them. So I'm very respectful and humble to the game. We have a saying, like, if you fuck with the game's gonna fuck with you.
That's it. Life.
So my heart is always in the right place. Like, I'll do whatever it takes to help my team win, even if it's demeaning, because I see the bigger picture. So, with that attitude and who I am as a player, it's just like, I'm ready for whatever. Like, if it comes down to me going and having to choke somebody on the court, that person's making $80 million and I'm making $2,000.
Yeah.
And they throw us both out of the game. Who wins?
Yeah, exactly. I love it. But right?
That's my mentality, like, so.
Oh, you're a big guy too. Like, I don't want to piss you off. 6'11", like.
I really don't.
The hook shots.
I really don't care. Whatever it takes to win games. games.
I love that attitude. These guys, like, I rally, like, the troops, like you said, and like the community, and I got the vision, and it's dialed in, and I'm a 24/7 kind of guy, and I'm lucky because I have a very awesome support system that lets me just go, and slowly, and you get it. And I like to tell people I'm an acquired taste, but you don't have to like me. If you do, you're going to enjoy me on a regular basis. But at the end of the day, I don't, it's your work is awesome. You love what you do, but it's still business first, right? And it's business, and in your business, you're in the business of winning in one of the most competitive leagues in the planet. And you were talking about going to Miami, and that was really like, again, I'll give you a correlation to trading cards. The market really dipped in the mid-90s until the mid-2000s, not because people stopped wanting to trade cards or collect pop art. It was because there was player strikes in all the leagues. There was the talent pool, like Kobe, Shaq was the 90s. If we fast forward to the 2000s, if we go back to the 80s, there was multiple Hall of Famers. So mid 2000s, all of a sudden there's this draft class, and then the Curry draft class was unreal. 2009, 2011. So when you went through your peak of your career, mid 2000s into the Miami was like the coming of age of the NBA.
It's definitely changed. I think the
global
NBA has evolved globally, as well as the style of play and the speed of the game. There's one that I probably can't keep up with right now, much like most of us, but that's why the NBA is so great and fascinating, is that it continues to change, it continues to evolve, and just to be a part of that fraternity of 400 guys or more, 450 guys, I think, is something that I really cherish. They didn't have to choose me. I did sacrifice a lot. I did go through a lot of hardships to get to where I am now. But looking back on it, it was all worth it.
for sure.
Watching my mother and seeing her smile, and her having the opportunity to go where she wants and do what she wants.
Yeah. I get that.
The main reason why I started to play. Like, I remember looking back and seeing her having to take the bus and at 7 o'clock in the morning and cooking like 2 hours before that and leaving the food there so when we come home we're able to eat.
Yeah.
The sacrifices that she made is really nice now that she doesn't have to do shit.
Yeah, right? You take care of her now.
She wants to go to Sandro Pay.
Yeah, she goes.
Or Cuba, she's going to
That's
go.
it. Mama, Sandro Pay over Cuba all day, but a good Italian boy, just say I love Cuba too, but yeah, no, like that, and that's what you said. You're gonna do whatever it takes. You provide, and now you're living your best life. You love what you do. Yeah, there's no feeling greater than that.
Yeah, there's no feeling greater than watching your parents happy and just showing your appreciation to all your family and friends that have put up with your shit for so long.
To get there, yeah.
I wasn't a good kid by any stretch. I'm just a little bit reformed now that I have a job that depends on me to be that way. And, for that reason, I appreciate it, and I just try and do right by them and myself first. And
that's really the most important thing, I think. So, segue, we're still good for some time before we do some rips. Yeah, segue was, you talk about giving back. So the Jamaal Magloire Foundation is a big part of your life today. I think that's sort of how we got to you here, was through some mutual friends and whatnot through the foundation. So tell us a little bit about the foundation, what you do, where can people find out about it, and then I'll tell you about some cool stuff for the foundation.
Yeah, I'm really enthused and elated about this foundation that I started in 2017. It's something that my mother started to give back to the community that has given so much to me. Between college and the NBA, I've seen and experienced the good, the bad, and the ugly. Most of it good, but some of it bad and some of it ugly as well. And, throughout my whole tenure, the community hasn't given up on me. I haven't been socially canceled or culturally canceled, as they say.
Jeez, what a time.
anything that I've done wrong, because I've made a lot of mistakes, especially in college. And I just feel good that I'm here, in an unorthodox way, pushing my young soldiers to go out there and learn the game of basketball and learn it the right way and win. So I think I've been very blessed in many ways to be where I am, sitting here with you today, with a world championship, college championship, and 2 high school championships under my belt.
It's pretty awesome. Like, that's a mouthful. That's just awesomeness.
And you can see what the common denominator is, right?
Yeah, you. Let's go. Hey, I got a ring too. At least I wore mine today. But it's true. Like, 2 high school championships is wild, and like the NCAA championship. It's like I gotta use a hockey reference, and it's such a there's how many teams start out? 100, 120,
64.
By the time it gets to the tournament,
yeah.
So you got to get through. It's like the Memorial Cup. Like, it's 4 different hockey leagues playing for this one trophy. Like, people don't really. We just see, oh, it's a week long, so much fun, and everybody bets on it. It's like war for you guys. And in the U.S., like, we get it in Canada from TV, but I mean, it's not like I lived in Washington D.C. for a year, and when the Cowboys and the Skins would play, even churches were closed. So, like, it's different. And Kentucky's, like you said, like, this is like, you used it, like, as a basketball, what do you call it? Like, it's a farmhouse, like a powerhouse, just pumping it out there. So, the foundation you started, you love it. What are we raising money for? How do we give it back? And how do people support the charity?
We, our objective with the foundation is to, help kids with opportunities in arts, music, and in sport. I don't want to pigeonhole myself into anything specific, but we're just trying to help the community. Because,
nice.
Again, referencing back to what I said before, I feel like it's my duty to give back to the community that has given so much to me. And hence the reason why, like I said, there's people that have believed in me and have saw all different facets of my life. I feel like I'm indebted to them, and hence why I have this foundation, is to give back, and help people that may not otherwise have that opportunity to either go to post-secondary or have a chance at whatever they want to do.
And it's a very arts focused. If I understand correctly, your father is a big musical buff and influence in your life, and you have a scholarship that's named after him.
Well, my father has been instrumental in my life. When people ask me who my heroes are or who I look up to, I definitely say my parents, because, like I said, having seen them every day, was definitely a challenge in how they came up.
Yeah.
And I just want to appreciate that and acknowledge that. And I do have a bursary for his name. It was one this year. It was for $2,000. It was a start. It was a beginning of something. But we continue to get better, do more, and with the help of the community and with the help of the people that continue to donate on a weekly and monthly basis, I'd like to say thank you, and that your money is not going for naught. Everything that you contribute, we turn around and we will show you what we're doing. So often than not, you look at, some of these other mega, what do you call them? Charities, United Way, Salvation Army, they're great charities because I contribute to them, but I don't get to actually see
it in action
where the donations are going. And for me, like, that's the difference between what I'm trying to do and what they're doing, is that you're actually going to see the dividends of what you contribute. So,
and you're saying, like, right in your backyard where you grew up, right in the city where you live in, and
so I'm excited about that. I'm excited in the opportunity of social media and having them involved and getting them to actually see what we do, and hopefully you believe in us and that you'll try and help as well.
So we're gonna do a couple things for the charity. We auctioned a box off. It's about $500. We're gonna give you the proceeds. Thank you. So we're gonna open that later on tonight. We have another box for you, WNBA, so I know that women's basketball is something that you're into. Right on. We got some ladies here. You can't see them, but they're here. So what we're going to do with that is we'll run some contests. We'll try and bring some exposure to the page, and we'll put a link in our bio where people can see about the charity and they can make donations.